Send your wives to Target. Put your kids to bed.
It's garage time. Episode 12. Dang. 3 months in.
3 months in.
3 months of good times. Great times.
It's been a good 3 months.
I think so. Has it gone as good as you thought it was going to
go? I think there's been a learning curve, but I think that overall things have gone awesome. I mean, we've had some crazy growth the last couple of weeks. I feel like maybe things are starting to compound on top of each other, and we're just at a point where we're really going to start growing here.
We're getting a lot of traction with new interaction from followers or fans or whatever you call them. Mm-hmm. Well, late Mother's Day shout out to all of our mothers that are followers.
Yeah.
Followers that are mothers, whatever.
All you mother followers.
Yeah, all you mother followers, yeah.
I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. We had a good Mother's Day.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I know we're not moms, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know.
Had a good time. We got our wives together and cooked out a little bit, ate some good food, had some good talk, and yeah,
nice weather. It was cool.
Made some TikToks.
Yes, coming your way later this week.
Yes, they are.
Debuted a new weekly special on Thursdays. We're doing rankings. That's been pretty cool so far.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that new one to drop the day after this episode drops.
Yep. Keep watching TikTok for all the amazing things we do throughout the week.
You know, I will say, we mentioned, and I think this is big. The last week on TikTok, one of the things that I really liked is we continued to grow a lot, and there was no bullshit. Like, everything that we posted on TikTok and Facebook were clips of our podcast. They were, polls that we were interacting with. It was videos that we put out there. It wasn't like just stupid, hey, look what I can do shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was pretty authentic stuff from us, and I really liked it. It was pretty cool to see that, maybe our true selves will bring in some followers as well as, being silly and doing the inspirational stuff and
I think so.
All the other things that you see influencers doing, so kind of cool. I'm down for it.
Yeah, and I've had, I don't think people see this, but we've had a couple of offers of people reach out to us and be like, hey, we'll follow you if you follow our podcast, and I've turned every one of them down.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do that for 1 follower or 10 followers. Like, I would rather know that the people that hit follow, the people that are watching this, are people that actually want to be there.
Yeah, we want people that are going to interact with us and be here for the ride.
So,
well, another exciting news for us. Opening day for our little league.
Yeah.
So, your wife is our director. How's that going?
Good. I will tell you what, she is crazy organized. She
a little
has
over the top organized?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, but it takes a lot of weight off of our shoulders, too.
100%, yeah.
I mean, she's got, binders and schedules and papers, and the communication is more than I think we've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
And not against any other directors. That's not what I'm saying. But, like, damn, she has been communicating. She's killing it. Yeah. I think she's doing great. So, excited to see what opening day looks like this year.
Yeah, I am too. We got some people coming out, coming out to throw the first pitch. And we talked about having the fire chief out for a few years, so I think that'll be cool. Plus, he's got some grandkids. Yeah,
he's got some grandkids playing, actually, on my team.
Oh, okay. So, there you go. Even better.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I think opening day is going to be great. The kids get excited. We've got some free popcorn or something going out. And usually what we do for opening day, which I think is a really cool tradition, is that we bring all of the kids in the age groups out and we get them on the diamond.
On the diamond, yeah.
We do the national anthem, and I just think that's a really cool moment for our baseball season.
It is. It really is. And
what else do we got going on new this year?
We're going to sell something at the concession stand. Oh, it's going to be a smacking good time. Hit up the Bushel Park District concession stand. We're going to sell these bags for $2 a piece.
I'm excited about this. Yeah, if you flip these around, your side's on the right side. Look at all these flavors he's got on his bucket. There's, what do you got there, dude? You've got like
barbecue, cheddar jalapeno, garlic parmesan, dill pickle, sour cream and onion, ranch, the OG original, cinnamon churro, maple brown sugar, lemon pepper, and cracked pepper. Which one of those peppers did you have that you didn't like?
I had the cracked pepper, and when I ended up mixing it with dill or with the OG, it was a little bit better.
Okay.
I still think backyard barbecue is my favorite. I surprisingly really like dill pickle, and the maple and brown sugar are phenomenal.
Okay. You've tried every one of them now.
I haven't tried them all.
Oh, okay.
Haven't done the OG. Haven't done lemon pepper.
Talking about Little League, I get to coach my first T-ball game
Yeah.
in damn near a decade.
Wow.
And so I'm going to put my kid last so he gets the home run.
Are you nervous about it?
Am I nervous? Yeah, I don't really want to make a fool of myself. Like, I feel like, oh, this guy, on the high school football staff, I've been coaching travel team. Like, he should have his shit together.
These will be the Pee Wee All-Stars.
And then I get in there and it's like, my kid don't even know how to throw a ball or what hand the glove supposed to go on,
Yeah, and first.
But I don't know. I mean, obviously Pee Wee is not uber competitive. We're not out there sending them to the Pee Wee National Championships. But
Not yet.
my team's gonna be the first from here.
Well, and I'm a firm believer with a lot of these rec ball kids, like, when it comes to the game, maybe not the first game, but, when it comes to the game, like, you're not really doing a lot to correct that because that's what practice is for. Like, I want to see what you guys learned. I want to see how you're doing all this stuff. Pee Wee's a little different, though. That's like constant, hey, get over here. Like, run, stay on the base, put your glove on. Like, Pee Wee's a lot.
Yeah. Be interested to see how it goes. Speaking of the opening day, preparing my speech again to do this. Thank all my sponsors. Thank the amazing park board members and maintenance guy that did our dugouts over the weekend.
We can always have room for more sponsors.
Yes. Dr. Pepper, sponsored garage time.
I feel like we've said this almost as much as we say that I hate ketchup.
Yeah. Or the SEC bias. But either way.
SEC bias, yeah.
No. All right, well, let's get on into the episode. Unsolicited Advice. Literally, it's grilling season. So what more to talk about than...
Grillin.
Yeah. So, pellet grill is the way to go.
I think so. I do. I've spent a lot of time debating on whether or not I wanted to spend the money on a pellet grill. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I don't really remember the exact date. I should have because it was life changing. But I finally pulled the trigger on it, and dude, it's awesome. It's so much easier. I don't want to say like it's a lazy way of using the grill, but like, I feel like it's got pretty even cooking. You can literally set the temp. There's no guesswork on it. It gets the smoke flavor into the food really well. I love my pellet grill.
All right, so before your pellet grill, did you have a charcoal or gas?
Both. So the grill that I had before, it was a fucking monster. And like half of it was charcoal and half of it was grill, which was kind of a pain in the ass. Or yeah, half of it was gas, which was really a pain in the ass because... Like, say that we were having a cookout like we did yesterday where we had all that food on the grill because we had, like, baked potatoes, we had, like, steaks, you brought ribs, mac and cheese was on there. I couldn't have done that with my old grill.
Right, no.
Because I only had half space. Like, you had to choose gas or charcoal, and I had half a grill for that. So.
And you couldn't run both at once? Or both together?
I never really wanted to. Plus, like, then your cooking times are off, too, Right. So, yeah.
You got one laying over both? This is weird.
And actually, we've got the same pellet grill now.
We do.
You and I do.
Yes.
So
actually, I started coming over here and we started hanging out. And I remember you grilled something out and I just was fascinated by it. And I'm like, I've always wanted these. So I started doing my research on pellet grill and pellet smoking and all this stuff. And talked to you and talked to other people. And, I was like, nah, I'm not buying one of those. Like, it's way too much money. And finally at work, I got a good bonus. And I'm like, I bought a new trampoline and a swing set for the kid. I bought a new baseball bat. Bought some stuff for the wife. I was like, well, guess who else is getting one?
It's time for a grill.
So I bought a grill and I was like, I used my bonus. I worked hard for it. I deserve this. And I think it was like $800. Like, gee, Merry Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
And I love that thing.
Well, I think when it came to, which you've done a little bit of now, you were doing the ribs and stuff. When it comes to smoking food, like not just grilling, so much easier. Like charcoal, it was so hard to find a consistent temperature. Right. I was always afraid to add charcoal into it that had lighter fluid on it because then you get that chemical taste in your food. The electric smoker that I had didn't really hold temperature very well.
Mine was terrible. It lasted pretty good for about a year and a half.
Yeah, and then it's like it loses sealers or something.
I don't know what it is.
But yeah.
I came from a gas-only grill
really
to a pellet. I hate charcoal mainly because I'm impatient. You know, I was like, I don't want to go out there and mix the charcoal, spray it down, get it going, let it heat up. Like, no. So what I've come to find out with the pellet, go outside, set it up, kick it on, go inside. By the time I bring everything back out, it's usually up to my temperature.
Yeah, usually. And somebody said to me, well, I wouldn't want to have a pellet grill because I don't want to have to constantly buy pellets for it. But I got thinking about it, and like, if you have a charcoal grill, you're buying charcoal. If you have a propane gas grill, you're buying propane tanks all the time. Like, no matter what you're doing, it's not like you just have a grill ready to go.
I had mine on, so I smoked the ribs yesterday, which you brought up. I did the 3-2-1 method, so 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour.
Yeah.
So that's 6 hours with the cool down and the warm up, 6.5, 7 hours, and I used a quarter of a bag.
Yeah, the bag lasts forever, and they're like maybe $10.
Yeah.
So what pellets do you use? Do you have like a flavor you like to use?
Apple.
Apple?
I haven't
Apple's a good
changed
choice.
yet.
Really?
I think I need to clean it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't cleaned it yet, and I'm like, as soon as I get my water in my garage, I'll go out there and start cleaning it. But I don't think I can switch. I don't think you know. Like, it's just so apple flavored now. I don't know. I've always wanted. So I use a lot of barbecue, and they always say one thing with barbecue, you need some sweet.
Right, like cherry or something.
Yeah. So I use the apple in my sweet, and I like the way it turns out.
I like apple's good, cherry's good. I use just a blend.
So what's your favorite flavor that you use? Like, if you're like, hey, I'm having a barbecue, I'm inviting people over, I want to cook a good meat.
Yeah.
What am I getting?
I like the cherry or oak, usually.
You use cherry the most, don't you?
I use cherry quite a bit, yeah.
And you cook a New York strip, a ribeye, some ribs, some brats. You got to eat a piece of each meat.
You got to try it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about that, and I'm like last night, like I wasn't really overly hungry. Like I spent all day cooking those ribs, and had a good meal at lunch too. And by the time supper rolled around, I was like, oh, dude, I'm wow, And all I did, I ate a piece of rib, and I think a piece of steak you gave me right off the grill. I'm like, oh man, what a letdown! Like I didn't try all of it, But you have to, like.
You do, and it's funny because like you go to a restaurant.
Right.
And you order like a steak, you order like a cheeseburger, you order like ribs, and like this is what I'm eating. But like you go to a barbecue, you go to a cookout, and it's like you eat 2 cheeseburgers, and somebody's like, "Oh, you're not full. Here, have a hot dog. Like try this broth." So I do think you got to try it all. And I cut off a little bit of steak. I had your ribs; they were great. If there was anything else that was on the grill, I probably would have tried that too.
Right. You smoked the macaroni cheese, right?
Right.
You smoked the baked potato.
Mm-hmm.
You smoked steak, or cooked grilled steak. I guess you grilled. You didn't smoke anything.
I turned up the temp and then I grilled the steak. Yeah.
So you literally ate something that was on the grill. Everything that was on the grill.
Yeah.
That's a win, man. That's a good Sunday night.
I was going to say just about everything came off the grill, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, because I don't think well, your wife made some corn casserole. That was pretty good.
Yeah, she baked that in the oven. Yeah, and that was solid. I mean, and that was kind of, I'm like, man, I haven't had something like that forever. So Mother's Day, I'm like, hey, babe, I need you to cook this.
Yeah, she's like, I've never made this before.
I thought it turned out good. Yeah.
I thought it was good, yeah.
Yeah, little sweet, which is what I was looking for. Because sometimes you like eat all this meat, and then you eat nothing sweet to offset it. You go into green beans, you go into baked potatoes.
Yeah.
Well, baked potatoes can be sweet. Or,
get like the meat sweats.
Yeah, but you get in there and like really give you that flavoring difference and helps out everything.
That makes sense. Well, what do you think? What is the best side for your meat? Like,
The best side for your meat depends on what meat it is.
Okay, all right.
So like if it's a rib, I think like a corn or a
beans or something.
No, mac and cheese.
See, I'm not crazy.
Like if I have a bean, I want to dip something in it.
Yeah.
Get the bean sauce, juice.
Right.
No, I want to dip something in it. It depends on the steak or the meat, really. Like pork chops. I like applesauce with pork chops.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good pairing.
If I'm getting a New York strip, my mashed potatoes, baked potato.
I think, and this is like we've said this before, but for anybody that's watching, we live in Illinois and not like Chicago, Illinois. We live like farmland, Illinois. So for me, dude, corn on the cob in the summer.
Corn on the cob.
Throw it on the grill. I did something a few years ago and it was really good, but they said you could take corn and put it in a cooler, like an igloo cooler,
Okay.
and put a couple sticks of butter in there and pour boiling water in, shut the lid and walk away. And it like boils in the cooler because it holds the hot water. Turned out really good. We'll never do it again.
Mess.
I couldn't get the like film of the butter off the inside of my cooler for nothing. I scrubbed it 1,000 times. I used bleach afterwards. I used hot water again, boiling water again, and it always had this film. So, would not recommend that.
No, would not recommend that. So, I talked about my side. What's your side? Corn on the cob, the only one you want?
I mean, I think corn on the cob, like if I was going to choose one, you can do that with just about any type of meat.
It goes with all of them. And then especially like late season here, sweet corn comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because you only get like a 3-week window.
In the summer, big fan of potato salad. I'm not real picky. It can be the mustard or the Amish or whatever.
Right.
Potato salad.
Potato salad always goes good.
Yeah, potato salad's a good choice. I'm not real crazy about mac and cheese, if I'm being honest.
We're no longer friends.
Like, if it's homemade mac and cheese, cool.
Oh, so
like,
can't come out of the box.
But like the box, like there's no effort in that, and it's just the salty cheese powder.
So you're saying I'm spending all this effort grilling up a nice meat.
Right.
I'm not ruining it with something out of a box.
Right, exactly. Because
Okay.
like Kraft
That's
mac and
fair.
cheese, you just pour it in the water and you put the powder on and you're good to go. Like that's not cooking,
But no, it's not.
honestly.
Yeah.
So, but if it's like a homemade mac and cheese, you put it in a crock pot, you bake it. We smoked it yesterday. I mean, that's good.
Yeah, no,
That's
it was
solid.
good. I had it. I think you made the comment it was a little too done. I remember getting into it. The cheese was a little burnt on top. I thought it was good.
Well, I think
Hit the spot.
Yeah, I think what happened, I ran into a little bit of a time issue, which is bound to happen
Oh,
when you're cooking
that
that,
much.
many things.
Yeah.
But like the macaroni and cheese got done, and I remember I looked at your wife and I was like, "Hey, how long on that corn casserole?" And she's like, 37 minutes, and I'm like, "Fuck."
You go to a cookout, and their sides are chips.
Yeah.
I'm against that. I'm not gonna come to your house and bash you,
Right.
but I'm not eating a New York strip and then a bag of chips being my no. Like,
Right. And sometimes, like, if it's a pork chop, if it's a hot dog,
a hamburger.
maybe a hamburger, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I never feel like when I feel like we're grilling, when I feel like we're barbecuing, we're smoking, we're doing all this stuff, like I'm ready for a meal.
Oh,
like
100%.
something's gonna
Yeah.
fill me up, and the chips are like I'm not. I don't know. Not for me.
2 half bags because the full bag comes with half air, so half bags later.
Smash them and pour them in.
There you go. Yeah.
Psychotic.
So, but yeah, no little grilling advice from us, to people that are grill masters. But let's get it on over to the sports. So,
Ooh, this was rough. So, almost every episode for the last 3 months, we've been able to be like, man, Cubs are on fire. This is great. They're so good. And they're still great. I mean, they're still leading the Central by a game, depending on what's going on with the Cardinals right now.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, as I say, did the Cardinals lose because they were a game back? They were playing Philly. It was tied last time I looked. This is Monday night that we're doing this right now. So they're 23-18. They're leading the NL Central. This past week, since the last episode, they dropped a series to the San Francisco Giants. They dropped a series to the New York Mets. And we really had done pretty well about splitting or winning series up until that point.
Looks like the Cardinals just won. So we're
Okay.
half a game back, or they're half a game back.
Well, if we win tonight, they should still be a game back,
There's
I
still a
think.
game, so
Yeah.
we'll be right there. We're keeping that up. It's what was the score? I just saw it. 5-2
Something like
in the
that.
top of the 7th. So yeah, hey Chicago, here we go.
And we're in a
Turn
great
it back around,
Yeah, we're in a great part of the schedule.
We really are. Playing Miami, so that gets easy.
Well, and I looked up because I like to looking ahead. What's the next week between episode 12, episode 13?
Oh,
What do
gotcha.
we have
Yeah,
to look
yeah,
forward
yeah.
to? So we're playing Miami right now. Well, we should have that. Then we have the first crosstown series of the year, so we play the White Sox. We should probably have that.
Oh, we better have that.
And then we turn around and play Miami again.
Oh, that's good. That's
So,
a
I
good
mean-
solid. What's that? 7 games?
Yeah.
4, 8?
Well, I think it's going to be 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 2 of the White Sox series. And the next several are at home.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and, come on, the White Sox is a home game, kind of,
Right, yeah.
you know. But and there's bright spots, you know. Players in the MLB that have 10 home runs and 10 stolen
I was going to
bases.
bring that up too.
Yeah, who are they? Go ahead.
You got PCA, you got Kyle
Yeah.
Tucker. There's one more in there.
Ohtani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime you get compared with this guy, or you're in a stack with him, it's good.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the end of the list. You know.
That is the list.
Right, exactly.
It goes PCA, Ohtani, and Kyle Tucker.
I was kind of looking earlier, though. One thing that surprised me, and I guess I had heard a little bit about it, but I was so kind of focused on the NL right now. Not a lot of surprises for division leaders at this point in the season.
No.
But do you know who's leading the AL Central?
Indians?
Detroit.
Tigers!
That surprised me. And part of it is Javi is playing lights out, which also really surprises me because
he's playing center field.
he's been a joke the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, maybe that transition to center field has really turned him around. Yesterday, I sent you a meme
Yesterday?
and talking about, and I'm just going to go ahead and read it. We can post it on here for you guys to read.
Yeah.
Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Game 7 of the World Series. Your team is up by 1, so you're in the field.
Yeah.
Ricky Henderson is on second base, and Tony Gwynn lines a single into right field. You have your choice of any right fielder, any era, to try and nab Henderson a home. Who gets the call?
So
Your pick shocked me because technically he's a center fielder.
So I may have cheated a little bit with this. And my main goal, as soon as you asked me this, my main goal was I'm not going to pick a Cub. Like, because I don't want to sit here and have somebody on YouTube be like, Cub bias. So I was like, I'm not choosing a Cub. And so I went with Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah,
I went with the kid.
Solid pick.
Which, you know, yes, mostly a center fielder. 10 Golden Gloves, known for his defensive specialty, his range. He did play right field some with Seattle, especially near the end of his career.
Yeah.
I think I trust Ken Griffey Jr. there. He's got the speed to get to the ball. He's got a good arm. I think he makes the play, hopefully.
Yeah. No, I think he would. I mean, 9 times out of 10. So, and you're funny, you bring up this Cubs bias, but literally the first person that popped in my head was a Cub.
Yeah.
Eric
That's who, yeah. So.
You know, like the dude who saved the World Series with his speech was crushed down the stretch. But if I had to look back, I thought I was like, oh man, you picked somebody you went back a little ways. So I started Googling and I was looking at stuff. I watched some highlights. I'd go with Barry Bonds.
Okay. I was scared there for a moment. I thought, so Barry Bonds is a great choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I know a lot of people hate him and I love him. I think that's part of the controversial.
Right.
But no, Barry Bonds, I mean, I was looking at him Barry didn't have that strong of an arm. I started watching highlights. He was pretty solid. He was just so known for his hitting.
Right.
His fielding got overlooked.
And I looked today because I was like, somebody's going to call out, and you did. Ken Griffey Jr. is a center fielder, which, okay, I cheated a little bit. So my backup option, because I did the same thing. I looked and I was like, I'm going to find somebody that was a true right fielder. Daddy Vladdy. Give me Vlad Guerrero.
Oh, Vlad, dude, when I was doing my research, I was like, man, he had a high percentage of throwouts. I was like, damn.
Killer arm.
Yeah.
True right fielder.
And you think about it, what did he play at for his career?
Well, he played kind of all over.
Yeah. What's the main one? Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which has a big outfield.
Right.
And it's you got that high of a success rate from that field? That's pretty intriguing.
And at that time, was it the Expos?
Yeah, probably was Montreal.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, huge outfield, and that's what I saw. Huge outfield, great arm, accurate. I mean, you want me to pick a right fielder that's a right fielder, I'll go with Vlad.
No. So, okay, let's open this up a little bit just for some fun.
Yeah.
Any outfielder, who you going with? Obviously, you've already picked Griffey, you've already picked Vlad.
Yeah.
You get one more. You're making your outfield. You're making your dream outfield here.
Okay, dream outfield.
So you already got Vlad, you got Griffey. Who's the third?
So it's really hard to go back because you look at some stats and stuff and you think Hank Aaron or, some of these other outfielders that were much further back in the day. But I don't know that their game translates into modern baseball.
Not a lot of them, no.
Yeah. So, and I was trying to think of a modern person so that I would have like a relevant answer. I think if I'm looking at the MLB right now, do you go with Mookie Betts?
Oh, okay.
Or do
Not
you
where
go?
I'm going.
I mean, or do you go with like Tatis? You
Okay.
know, I know one of the debates I saw was that Judge may very well be the best outfielder of all time. No,
No,
not in this
close.
situation.
Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
he was there too.
Yeah.
So I did look at him too, and I think that's a great choice.
My third pick, and it pains me to say this, Jim Edmonds.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say Bryce Harper.
No, Edmonds was a baller.
Yeah.
That dude would bounce off a wall to make a play.
Yeah.
So love to hate him as a Cardinal. Like, you're like, oh, dude, this guy sucks, but he's like, oh, he's so freaking good.
Right.
And then he came a Cub for a little bit on the downhill swing and was not really all that great. But no, was a big fan of Edmonds. Honestly, as a Cub fan, I in like 8th grade, I moved to Center Field
Okay.
because of Jim Edmonds.
Really?
I was like, man, I love the way he plays. I personally like diving.
Right.
Like, oh, I get to dive everywhere.
That highlight catch, yeah.
I ended up being, I got faster. So I moved from like third to short to center field.
Nice.
And that was kind of, actually I played most of my high school ball out there as well. So, yeah, I was like, no, so I liked him and I was big on him. You sent me over an important stat that I want to talk about.
This seemed crazy to me.
It does, because you think at any time, and we're on NFL now, so I'm actually going to read the stat you sent to me so that...
Don't fast forward. For those of you that don't like stats, this is not just a stat thing. This is an absolute crazy thing when it comes to football.
So every team in the NFL has won at least 5 games in a row in the last 10 years, except for one. And that's the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
And they have not done that in 22 years.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, so I get some of it, because Tomlin and Harbaugh have been there for a while.
Right.
But you're telling me there hasn't been a time when you played other divisions for 5 games in a row and couldn't get 5?
I mean, 16-game season.
Yeah.
You've, up until recently,
Right.
16-game season, you've never won 5 in a row in 22 years. When literally every other team in the NFL has done it. Because
Right.
there's been bad teams. Detroit, which has been good now, but they were terrible for a long time.
Right.
Jacksonville hasn't been consistent,
Right.
you know.
Carolina.
So the Houston Texans up until recently.
Yeah. Oakland.
Yeah.
Vegas, whatever you call them.
The Bears.
The
I mean,
Bears,
all
yeah.
these teams have done it.
Minnesota, who's up and down all the time. Like,
Yeah.
so it makes you, it's like jaw-dropping. Like, you're really that bad of an organization.
Well, and especially, they hit the playoffs a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, Baker took them to the playoffs. They had the year with Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis, yeah.
You know, they did pretty good that, but they never won 5 in a row.
Like, that's just phenomenal. Like, how do you make the playoffs and not win 5 in a row?
That's a new level of bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about people that are a little bit younger than us that may be Browns fans and never seen them string together a 5 win in a row.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Wow.
I thought it was bad being a Bears fan,
Yeah.
honestly.
No, you think, like, when your team's doing terrible, like, this just sucks. And then you just realize how bad Cleveland Browns football really is. And it's like, oh, you're the dog pounder, right? Yeah, because you suck. Like,
Yeah, it's such a
Yeah.
bad organization.
oh, man. Like, and so to me, I'm thinking, okay, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt if they play a division game within those 5.
Yeah.
Because Baltimore and Pittsburgh are always tough. But you're telling me you couldn't get like Cincy and 4 other teams, or Cincy twice and 3 other teams in that 5 games?
You didn't play the NFC South at any point in time. Like
Hey,
you
listen,
didn't play, you know.
motherfucker.
Well, even, you know, let's be honest. There for a while, you know, the Chiefs weren't all
Yeah.
that great. The Raiders, like you could have played the AFC West and maybe squeaked out some wins there. So it seems crazy to me that this never happened.
Yeah.
And we talked about several episodes ago. We talked about like this culture in Georgia and how it may be leading to some of their problems. What does this say about Cleveland?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cleveland's been a joke forever. When you get, 6 first-round picks in the last 12 years, and none of them pan out besides Myles Garrett.
And the,
Baker's working now elsewhere.
elsewhere, yeah.
You know, I mean, and he went through several. Mm-hmm. Now he came to Carolina to a bad situation. No quarterback going to succeed in that. You know,
Went to L.A.
Yeah, that's when he turned it back around.
Yeah, kind of turned it around, and now Tampa Bay, he's great. And,
Yeah.
And I think I've probably said at some point in these episodes, I'm a big Baker fan.
Oh, I am too.
I
Love the tenacity they played. Like, he is after it, he gets out there. But who else did they draft in the first round? Another quarterback in there.
I think the only thing that I will give the Browns credit for, and I'm just thinking back while you were talking, I was trying to think about like my whole life paying attention to the Browns. I think the only thing that I can give them credit on is they found Joe Thomas. I mean, and that would be it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that dude ended up being a legend.
Yeah.
Like,
and
crazy.
especially when it comes to quarterbacks. Like, you whiff on all these first-round quarterbacks.
Right.
You get one that's playing great, Baker, and you send him on his way.
Yeah.
You pay all this money for Deshaun Watson, which has been a terrible decision. And then, not to get everybody fired up again, but this year you draft 2 of the top quarterbacks
in the draft
and have them compete when you have 5 quarterbacks in the room already.
Right.
So I don't understand any of their football decisions.
So having this huge quarterback room, and this Cleveland coming in and saying, hey, one of you is going to lead us. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who it is. I don't care what we're doing. We need to win. I don't think Gabriel has what it takes to be an NFL quarterback.
And Shadur's started to, and I do want to give him credit because there's been a lot of shit about him.
He's doing all the right things.
Yeah, he's staying late in practice. He's going to schools. He's putting forth that image of I'm going to be that guy.
Yep.
So it's going to be hard to unseat Kenny Pickett, but I think you can do it.
Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson.
I think obviously Joe Flacco's there to be a mentor.
Oh, 100%.
But I don't know how they handle the situation.
You have 2 Super Bowl winners in front of you.
Right.
Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett's QB rating last year in the Super Bowl was through the roof. But with his one drive.
Right. Yeah. And it's amazing that you do so well in a Super Bowl. You put your backup in.
Yeah.
Watson's got to be about out of the league.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a bright future.
Mm-hmm.
I loved him at one time in Houston. Would have massaged his ego. No, but I mean, I thought he had the gift, and then he turns around, screws up, ends up quit working hard, apparently. Yeah. I mean, he didn't go to a terrible situation in Cleveland. He had Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the GTR. So, Kyle.
Yeah.
Last week was super busy.
Oh, man.
I remember I'm trying to text him Thursday. I'm like, dude, planning out things, talking about the weekend, some punk stuff, job stuff, whatever. Vacation planning a little bit. And this dude who usually, get back to me pretty quick, didn't respond for 3 hours. I'm like, well, all right, well, he's just busy today. I didn't know what he was doing. Sunday night I come over to his house and he's like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that at the park. I'm like, when?
Yeah.
I
have been, and even today, I have been MIA. I think you probably Snapchatted me at 1 o'clock, and I don't think I got back to you until 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And I mean, appreciative. You've been out there busting your butt at the park. You made a very awesome patio area for your wife for Mother's Day. You got your pool getting ready to go.
I mean, that was kind of the other thing is even being busy, a lot of physical work.
I can tell you look swole.
I'm just beat, dude. I am tired. I'm sore. But it feels good. It feels good.
Oh, yeah, it does, And that's the thing, we've talked about, I know you mentioned this a couple weeks ago, that seasonal depression gone now, man. You're outside, you're doing the work, you're at ball practice.
And I have spent so much time outside this past week.
No, it's good. It's finally getting warm.
Yeah.
It went from 65 and 50 mile an hour winds to 85 and nothing. And it's what, there's no in between there, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Illinois, because that's what happens with us. But I guess my thing is we talked about this before, days off being productive, getting outside, doing the thing, living the dream. And, I mean, you got after it. You did it last couple of days.
Well, and I don't, and I want to give credit where it's due because I had help, like you said, our maintenance, our groundskeeper helped out tremendously. I want to tell you about this because I think this was funny, ironic, and kind of leads me into what I want to say about this. But so what a lot of people don't realize, small town, small park district, we are volunteer. You know, everything we do is volunteer. We don't earn a dime. Our maintenance guy, our groundskeeper guy, he is a paid employee, but he had been putting off some other stuff to help me with everything we did at the park the last couple of days. And we are standing in the dugout today, and I mean, we're dripping sweat, the two of us and another one of our board members, and we're trying to put this fence up, and we had just got done painting, and two people come by on bikes. And I don't know if they saw us. They might have, they might not have, but they ride by on bikes, and I just catch a tidbit of their conversation, and they're like, "It looks like shit out here. Nobody gives a shit." And then they said something about, "It'd be nice if somebody mowed." And like, I just kind of turned and looked at, you know, the guy that usually mows, and I was like, wow, you know, if they had taken the time to actually look around, they would have seen us right there in the dugout working on stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what I wanted to say about this. It's not so much like I volunteered and shit, because you've done it. You've been out there. There's nights you don't get home till midnight, whatever,
right,
because we're doing stuff, especially during baseball season. And I think that's the side that nobody sees. And we talk about it a lot. I don't really say it publicly, but fuck it, because we can do it now. We are volunteer, you know, and we're doing everything we can. We all work full-time jobs. We're all doing what we can with the time that we have.
Yep.
And just like today, it pisses me off because these are people that are using the park talking shit about those of us that are doing our best. And we have had, and maybe I'm trying to raise awareness. Maybe I'm tired and being a get off my lawn dad. I don't fucking know, but nobody wants to help.
Nope.
You know,
They'll be the first to complain, the last to help. Yep.
And we've had park cleanup days.
Yep.
Where we have asked the community, come in, help us lay mulch, help us paint, help us, you know, clean, get ready for baseball fields, help us out. And a handful of people show up, if anybody at all.
And it's the same ones.
It's the same ones.
And they're the best. We love that they come out. It's the same ones every time. Because they care. You know, those are the ones that care. But, you know, I'm going to get on this a little bit now because I'm kind of fired up about this. I went out Saturday night. You know, I take the kid out, the youngest one, who's 3. We got to the park and there's people sitting in the pavilion. And they brought food and had supper. Which, that's fine. That's what the park's for. In the playground, in the mulch, there's Capri Suns, there's water bottles, there's plates with cupcakes on them.
Yeah.
Just thrown about. I probably picked up 7 or 8 things. My wife picked up a few. The youngest kid picked up. I'm just like, I wanted to take a video, just blast on people. Like, listen, like, you can talk shit. You can say we don't care. This is stuff I shouldn't have to do.
And that's what people don't see.
Right.
I mean, you know, the flip side of this is, yes, I spent all this time out at the park these last couple of days, but you know what I didn't do? Like, my yard looks like shit.
Right.
I haven't mowed my yard. I haven't done anything around here. It's baseball season. We've got opening day like we talked about. I haven't pitched a few balls to my kid in the last couple of days. I haven't worked on his batting. Like, things that I would like to do because I'm trying to be out there helping. And the same as you. You went to the park not to pick up trash.
Right.
You were trying to play with your kid.
I was trying to get that 15 minutes in that I knew I had.
Yeah.
And instantly I was like, just ready to throw down.
It's unfortunate.
I'll be honest with you. So last week I get a phone call from a resident in town about some kids bullying at the park. I'm like, all right, really not my job, but I go out there, you know. And I was pissed off because there was a church group going on.
Wow.
And so I walked up to a member of the community that we all know who's part of this group, and I'm like, hey, did you hear anything? Well, yeah, but I wasn't too concerned. Why are we not stepping up as adults?
Right.
If you see a kid getting bullied, as an adult, as a church-goer of the community, as a dad, you need to step in and, like, do that.
Yeah.
Instead, you have a mom over here who ends up looking crazy because she's trying to stick up for her kid.
Right.
Like, no, do the right thing. Don't
Be a
be
good
the shy
person.
people. Like, so it just aggravates me. Like, all these people are complaining about what we're trying to do at the park.
When we finished, and I mean, so I went and talked to the girls softball team, the high school girls softball team on I think Thursday night before I started all of this. And I was like, I want to double check. You guys are not out here until Tuesday night, right? Like, I'm going to tear the field down. I'm going to tear the fences down. It's going to be a safety hazard. I want to make sure you're not out here. You haven't added a scrimmage or something. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're good. So today, when we finished with it, it was literally as they were starting practice. And the reason that I bring this up is that we didn't do it for them. We didn't do it for the recognition or anything like that. But the girls softball team all came into the dugout and said, thank you for doing this. And I thought that was awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
So,
that means we're raising good kids in this community.
Exactly.
They come over and do it. That's awesome. Good for them. Makes me feel a little bit better about them using our facilities. Like, because at times we're like, we get grumpy. But then you hear that and you're like, this is why we do it. It's for the kids,
They're appreciative, and I like that.
Well, enough harping on this because we're going down a sour road.
Or step off the soapbox. And I'm sorry.
So this past weekend was Western graduation. We got our high school coming up. Local graduations coming up. And it affects our community in a big way.
It does.
Like, I went out to eat Saturday night, and it was packed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shoot, Which isn't a big deal. That's good, money coming in the economy, blah, blah, blah. So we go to town. I think we hit back home at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Go to another park before we go out. Drive by all these restaurants. So they're packed. I'm like,
all of them.
Oh, man. So we go to Spring Lake where my family's camping and hang out for about an hour and a half. Go back into town. And it died down almost that quick.
Really?
It's like, whoa,
Just like that surge.
Yeah, that surge, And, coaching high school football the last few years has really gotten me differently involved with graduations. This year I have 7 of them on the same day on the same time.
Oh, wow. How do you handle that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I actually had a parent of a kid from last year. So I got invited to her kid's graduation, but I was doing it with 2 other people who didn't invite me. And I was like, you want to throw money in the card, right?
Right.
Like, okay. And she's like, no, you're doing it all wrong. She's like, all 3 of them get a card, only 1 of them gets money. I'm like, you're a freaking genius.
Nice.
Like, you are a genius.
I never thought about that, yeah.
Like, you feel like it's sleazy.
Right.
It's like, okay. She's like, if you're going to put 25 in his, just put 5 in the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm like.
And I think, we just talked last week, and you kind of just hinted on it about, supporting the youth, supporting baseball. I think if you're invited to a graduation, and I kind of grumbled, I I don't really want to go to so-and-so's garage, which I'm usually all for. But, like, oh, man, it's my Sunday off. But if you get invited, like, it costs nothing just to show up and be like, hey, congratulations.
And it means that they thought you were involved in some way in their life to be graduating.
Right.
So pay the respects and go. But it's like, you guys can't have graduation party the weekend before or after anymore.
Everybody's got to do it at the same time.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I told my wife, I said, the problem is like, so when I was graduating, like my graduation was like an hour, then I went to my buddies, and then I went to another buddies. Like, if I go to these graduations and these damn kids aren't there, I guess I'll just talk to your parents. Like,
right.
Whatever.
And it almost turns into like a popularity contest because whose party are you going to go to?
Yeah, Wait, why'd you go to his first? And
And it's awkward. Like, what if you're like, I've got these 7 to go to, and you sit down and you crunch numbers, and you're like, this is my plan. This is the order I'm hitting them in. Right. And you get to number 3 on the list, and you walk in, and you're the only motherfucking person there. Like, you're not just gonna be like, oh, dude, I gotta get going. So
you make small talk with the parents, try not to be awkward. Like,
slap your knee a couple times. Well, I'm gonna
put the hand on the doorknob, talk some more,
stay another hour.
That Midwestern goodbye.
Right.
So, but another thing is, 2 of them that invited me are 2 of our football players that are going to play college ball.
Okay.
Okay, so obviously top priority for me right there.
Right.
I got to coach them for 3 years. They worked hard. Their hard work's paying off. Those are the ones I want to hit up. But it's like, but I don't think any less of the other ones.
Right.
It's like, damn, I don't know. It's tugging on my heartstrings a little bit. Like, what do I do that's not wrong? My wife's like, well, just don't go to any of them. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, because the other side of that, you said it means something to show up and be like, yeah, you supported me, congratulations, you know, it means something. It also could mean something if they're like, I'm expecting Devin to be here and you never show up, like, oh, well, okay.
Like, hey, Coach Raleigh's not here. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what a dick. Like, he just yelled at me for 3 years of my life playing football, and now he can't even come in and say, hey, thanks for letting me yell at you. Like,
right.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. I do know we are going to graduation, and I'll probably wing it after that.
Maybe at graduation is a good chance to still be like, hey, congratulations, try to get everybody in the ceremony.
So last year, that's what I did, because I couldn't make half the parties.
Yeah.
I could only make one, and I really didn't want to go to it because it was out of town.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't remember what we had going on. I had somewhere else I really needed to be. So I went to graduation, and I just went and handed each of them, talked to them in person.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to go to a party.
And I think that makes a lot of sense, too.
They're like, hey, no, he didn't come to go party because he saw me at graduation, you know.
That makes sense.
But talking about graduations, as you can see, my next topic I put together.
Yeah.
Is money the best graduation gift?
Yes. I think yes. I think especially, it might be different if it's like your kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you might be able to come up with something a little more thoughtful or whatever. But like you're going to these parties, it's somebody you coached, a friend's kid, a nephew, something like that. Like, yeah, I think money's the best gift, you know. I moved out of my parents' house literally the day after graduation. which is not normal for everybody. But like either way, whether they're moving out, whether they're starting college, whether they're, you know, having to buy a uniform for a new job, whatever the case may be, most of these high school graduates are getting ready to spend money in some way, shape, or form. So I think it's a good thing. I think money's the best option.
So for me, I might have the numbers wrong. It was quite a while back, but $1,500 or $1,800 toward my first semester of college.
Mm-hmm.
And at my graduation party, I got like $2,500 or something. So I had enough to cover that. So that's what I put my money towards.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, heck yeah, I just covered it. I think it was help finish off paying my meal plan or something like that. It was something simple, you know. And then the other $700 I just blew.
Right.
You know, like.
But at least you didn't blow it all.
I was like, hey, I was half responsible.
Right.
like an 18, 19-year-old kid is, you know. And so yeah, it just got me thinking, like, you know, you see some people, usually it's a relative, they get this cool, like, T-shirt for quilt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, if you're a track star and you've been to track, like, every year of your life, you got all these T-shirts that say what you ran, what you went to track in. Like, oh, those are kind of cool. But usually it's grandma, grandpa, mom and dad that make those.
Right.
You know, but, like, a coach, it'd probably be weird if you showed up with a sentimental gift like that, right?
I would think so.
Like, hey, you know, here's the playbook that you and I used to use. Like,
right.
What the fuck, dude? Like, you know.
I sewed you together a blanket out of the socks that I wore during every one of our homecoming games.
Hey, remember that year that you ran for 500 yards? I did too, running up and down the sidelines. Here's my shoes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like,
put some miles on these. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, for the most part, money's probably the best gift.
Yeah.
Unless, like I said, son, daughter, you maybe put a little more thought into it.
Yeah.
But, because you could help them with that. You know, say it's a uniform, say it's a college tuition, say it's a new car. Like, you can be like, hey, instead of money, I put it towards your tuition.
Right.
You're still helping them, but it shows you put some thought into it. But I think money is the best option.
What if? All right, so you've already decided to go to college somewhere. You picked your college, and some random uncle or dude or somebody you've never met shows up like, hey, I put $400 on a meal card for you at college.
Yeah.
Like,
thanks.
What'd you just do?
Right.
Like, why is that stuff so weird though? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like,
that's true though. Like, yeah.
It's still money. He's just making you spend it in a smart way.
I found a down payment and got you an apartment. Oh.
It's right across the street from mine. Yeah. What were they thinking?
This is messed up.
Did you ever research that to see if it's true?
I tried. I found...
So once again, it's a meme. I'm going to look it up real quick.
I found the story. I still don't know if it's true or not.
Okay, so here is the meme that I found. I sent over to Kyle. Man caught spiking his female date's drinks with Viagra to make sure they don't get boners because you never know anymore these days.
Right. Yeah, so basically he would just supposedly would put Viagra into his date's drink and see if they popped a boner.
It's just wrong. It doesn't affect them.
I mean,
Does it? Give them high blood pressure, maybe?
it can, especially if it's a date that you don't know a lot about, like they have heart history or something.
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, I think should clear it out right ahead of time. I think it's wrong to put anything in anybody's drink that they don't know about. I'm not, this is fucked up. Like, this is just fucked up. And it's because of his reasoning. Like, I just wanted to see if they were really, if they were a girl or a guy.
Well, when the table started lifting up, I knew.
And this guy doesn't look like your, grade A citizen.
But he's not wrong.
I mean, he's not wrong in the sense that, like, you don't know. I mean, oh man, how do I say this without...
Oh, it's controversial.
Without sounding... Fuck it, there's no way to say this. I have seen some men dressed up like women that look very attractive.
Right.
And that's the truth of the matter. It's like some people dress up with like their non-conforming gender and they're wearing women's clothes when they're a guy or vice versa. Like, they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, when they sit there and that's their livelihood.
Right.
Yeah.
And I figure it's got to be a terrible situation for everybody involved when they didn't tell you, hey, I have a penis, and the date goes really well, you guys are hitting it off and decide to go into the bedroom or whatever and like, surprise.
Yeah.
That's got to be weird for everybody.
I mean, Alpha Man's saying about this.
Yeah, that's true. It's got to be a terrible situation for everybody because then not only does the guy surprised because his date has a penis, but the date probably then feels rejected because, well, I thought we were getting along really well, and now because I have a dick, it's a no-go. Which, I mean, yeah, it's a no-go for me. I'm just saying, I don't have any interest in that. That would be an instant, sorry, we're done.
Yeah.
But...
So now that it's 2025, can you flat out ask these questions in the talking stage?
I feel like these questions should be asked before you engage in anything sexual. Like, maybe not
Do
first.
you have a dick?
Right.
Hey.
Like, not like first date. Like, hey, yeah.
Nowadays, people fuck before the first date. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
we're fucking, then we're going out to eat.
Thanks, Tinder. But I don't know. I feel like there's got to be honesty on all sides of this, and it's got to be. I've said many times that I'm glad that I no longer have to worry about dating. Like, I'm married. I'm happily married. I'm not going on any dates unless they're with my wife. And thank God, because the whole dating situation for single people now is fucked up for a lot of reasons.
It is.
Right?
A lot of them are bad. Not very many good ones, but yeah. No.
Well, and even if you're dating this girl that you think is great and she's beautiful and she's smart and you guys are hitting it off, and then you find out 2 months into your relationship that she has an OnlyFans, like shit like that,
Right.
is in the dating field that maybe wasn't before.
Right.
So
And my thing is like, so I've been with my wife for 10 years, married for 7 here in a couple weeks. I don't want to introduce anybody else to my family.
yeah.
I don't want to go through that bullshit. Like, it's so bad nowadays. Like, people aren't legit.
Right. Well, they're not honest.
No, they're gonna skip town the first they can, all that stuff. Like, so I'm blessed. I mean, like you said, you've been together a couple more years, but I couldn't imagine. Like, glad my wife's awesome, so I don't have to worry about it. But
Right.
you know,
And I imagine it's hard to navigate that whole situation, but obviously this is the wrong way to do it.
oh yeah.
I mean,
But see, that's what I'm trying to get at. Can you ask that question? Like, is it rude to ask that question?
I don't feel like it's rude to ask that question. And I will be honest, like,
So if you ask that question, say you're texting, you're hitting it off, you've been texting for a couple weeks, and you're like, hey, we're going out Friday night, and Thursday rolls around, and you're like, man, I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna smash. Like, hey, we might fool around, but I have a quick question. Ha ha. LOL, to make it seem like you're joking.
Right.
Like, yeah, what's up? Like, you don't have a penis, do you? LOL.
I would just hope that I would hope that anything related to that, and not just like maybe you have anatomy that doesn't agree with what you're putting off. I would think.
Very good way to put that.
I would think that even if you had like.
That's awesome.
Even if you had an STI, even if you had like herpes or something, I would hope that, like I said, before that situation comes up, you'd be like, hey, we got to talk.
Yeah, thank you for supper. Okay, so this is gonna be shallow, but like if I take a chick out and she's like, hey, thanks for supper, but I have herpes, I'd be pissed. Like, bitch, I would have never bought your food.
I mean,
is that the dating scene these days, though? Is that really how that stuff goes?
I would be pissed if you did have sex and then find out afterwards.
Ooh.
Like, that would be a big thing for me, because I just feel like I said, that should have been talked about ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, like, it doesn't have to be transgender. It doesn't have to be STDs, but even if it's something like,
well, it should be.
Hey, like before we move forward with this, I want you to know that I have a birth deformity and I have 2 dicks. Like, oh, well, thank you for warning me, because it would have been weird, when you, oh, whoa,
Wait, that's real?
Right, or like, I had some kind of reconstructive surgery down there, like something. I would hope you'd say something.
I'd be like, yeah, I have tits. They're fake.
These were made from years and years of trying every meat on the plate.
This is years and years of neglect, baby. Let's go. No, I mean, but it's just weird to think about. Glad I really don't have to put too much thought into it, because I don't have to deal with it.
Should be, if you truly are a man that feels like you're a woman, you want to dress like a woman, you want to portray yourself as a woman, you want to change your name, whatever, like, that's your prerogative, it's your life. But I also feel like you should probably be honest with that, especially when it comes to like dating situations.
No. Polly turns into Pauline.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
But also, don't spike people's drinks.
Yeah. Not right, yeah.
So, but.
Well, that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, I put Viagra in your Mountain Dew.
Oh.
I don't see anything.
You ain't going to tell.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway.
Yeah, I've been fully erect for like 4 days straight, nobody's noticed, so.
Every fucking episode.
Oh, all right. Well, that finishes up another great episode here at Rod Time.
New episodes drop every Wednesday. This one will be no different.
Yep. Kyle does all the great IT work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Busts his ass to get it out there. Does a lot of the social media content. I don't know what the fuck I bring to this. I'm just here.
You outline the episode.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't think I do a very good job, and I try to make sure all the transitions hit.
The bucket. But yeah, we have a link. You can get 10% off.
Yeah. You get 10% off. We get 10%.
You get great seeds.
Yeah. So go in there. Here's the link. Post it. Get some ordered up. Don't be behind the 8 ball on that. Baseball season's here, so have some for your kids.
Shipping time's going to get probably more and more delayed the further we get into baseball season. So I'd jump on this.
Yeah. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and all the other socials that we're on.
Oh, if you want just the audio version because you don't like looking at our faces, first off, fuck you. But there's Amazon, Spotify, all of that stuff. You can find Apple Podcast. We're reaching new heights, so we're doing okay.
Oh! New heights, here we go. Or low heights.
New lows.
New lows, there we go. But no, it's always a blessing to be here with Kyle and talk about all the good things that we come up with.
Let's keep growing.
I'll be honest with you. I throw these together the day of because I never know what's going to change.
Yeah.
I've done some, like, I have it ready the Wednesday before. And then Sunday rolls around, and I'm like, oh, we have to talk about that while it's hot, kind of thing. So I usually wait. I have an outline saved, and I just go in and edit.
That makes sense.
So then you text me, like, hey, we got, I'm like, I can't remember off the top of my head what all I did. So, and actually I threw the grill part of the Unsolicited Advice last night when I got home. I'm like, we gotta talk about grilling. Like,
And I think that's good because I feel like most of the things that are probably relevant to us are relevant to people out there, and I
Right.
think that's why we're growing. So I'd like to say, we're right at a corner where we're growing faster than we ever have. If you've got a friend, if you've got relatives that you think would also be interested in podcasts, please invite them. Interact with us on social media, like we talk about. We have had great interaction. We love to see it. And until then,
it's garage time.